Rwanda Television, we are glad to have you with us. Let's begin with the top stories of the day. The Prime Minister, Dr. Edward Ngirente, urged residents of Burera district to benefit from the security and other government initiatives in place by working hard and fighting against poverty. The Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Bizimana Jean Damascene, has called on young people participating in the Inkomezabibi civic service program to uphold unity and integrity to help them develop themselves and contribute to the development of the country. On the international scene, a new gallery at the National Museum of the Marine Corps features the stories and experiences of U.S. Marines who served in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. My name is Olive Nete, and it's always a privilege to have you with us. Now let's kick off today's news edition. And as we begin this edition of the news, let us first inform you that President Paul Kagame has received Bobby Pittman, Oath Africa founding partner, and Kupanda Capital co-founder, who also serves as the chairman of the Development Bank of Rwanda, for a discussion on investment opportunities available in the country. Now, moving ahead, let us read you the following announcement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation with the title Rwanda summons UK High Commissioner. On February 26, 2025, during a parliamentary session in the House of Lords, Lord Colin of Highbury, the UK Minister for Africa, has asked about an attack on a church in the Democratic Republic of Congo by ADF terrorists. In response, the UK minister stated that when I met the foreign minister of Rwanda, he actively denied and refused these accusations. Lord Collins' comments were false, insulting, and dangerous. In light of this, Rwanda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation summoned the UK High Commissioner in Kigali and made the following points. The response given by Lord Collins in the UK Parliament was false because the ADF was never discussed or even mentioned in the meeting between the two ministers in Geneva. It is wrong and insulting to suggest that Rwanda is linked to this Ugandan terrorist organization affiliated to ISIS, Daesh, which operates hundreds of kilometers away from our border, especially given the fact that Rwanda is fighting a similar terror group alongside Mozambican forces in Cabo Delgado. It is also dangerous and irresponsible for the UK Minister for Africa to make these comments that misled the public, fuel the DRC propaganda machine, and entertain conspiracy theories, as well as undermine the ongoing African-led peace processes. And finally, while Lord Collins has sent a private message to the Rwandan Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation acknowledging the mistake and plans to send a letter to the House of Lords correcting the record, and this is not sufficient given the magnitude of misinformation. A formal request has been made to the UK government for a public correction and an official apology. And this announcement is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Now, moving ahead, the Prime Minister, Dr. Edward Ngirente, urged the residents of Burera district to benefit from the security and government initiatives in place by working hard and fight against poverty. He made these remarks in an official visit in these districts. Prince Manzi has more on this.
On the first day of Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente's visit, accompanied by other senior government officials, the tour began in Burera district, located in the northern province. He first launched the 2025 pea agricultural season at the Rutuku site, situated in Usarabuye sector. He then proceeded to Cyanika sector, where he visited Cyanika TSS, a technical and vocational school, located 2 kilometers from the Cyanika border between Rwanda and Uganda. The Prime Minister's visit in Burera district continued at Noguchi Holdings, textile factory located in Cyanika sector. Managers of the visited projects stated that the Prime Minister's visit motivated them to continue implementing development initiatives that benefit the community as they feel supported by the government. This visit is an empowerment because it is convincing citizens that for their children to join vocational schools is better. The factory currently has 460 employees serving in the day and night shift. And for maximizing these equips we have, we need 1,000 employees, and we're expanding our activities. We want the year to end with us having 2,000 employees. Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente urged residents of Burera district to benefit from the security and other government initiatives in place by working hard and fight against poverty. I want to emphasize that the head of state is grateful for your contribution to the country's development. That was the message he gave us to deliver to you. And we agree that security is the priority, and being in a safe country where you sleep well and wake up going to work and knowing that your work will not be affected in any way. That security is here, you have it. It is yours to safeguard it and benefit from it. The Prime Minister first visited Burera district in the northern province, but this Saturday he continued his tour in Ngororero district, located in the western province. In Ngororero, he is expected to visit various development projects within the district.
Still in this district, the Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente has urged Rwandans to seize available opportunities, work hard and overcome poverty. He made these remarks while launching the 2025 bee agriculture season in Burera district. We have more with this.
In the hills of Rusarabuye at the Rutoku site, the 2025 agriculture season bee activities have commenced with the cultivation of Irish potatoes across 16 hectares. Local farmers express optimism for a bountiful harvest, citing various factors.
In
this agricultural season, we have prepared by constructing terraces to help prevent soil erosion. We have also prepared the soil and applied different fertilizers, including organic and synthetic ones. We are well equipped for this season and anticipate a good harvest as we started early. With March approaching, we are optimistic about the results. All of the farmland has been prepared and the manure is also ready. We are using synthetic fertilizers, thanks to the timely support provided by the government.
In addition to Irish potatoes, farmers in Burera district will cultivate beans, maize and wheat across more than 21,000 hectares this season. The Prime Minister, Dr. Edward Ngirente, urged Rwandans to actively engage in agriculture activities as part of the ongoing efforts to combat poverty.
Let us Rwandans actively engage in work because fighting poverty goes hand in hand with hard work. Poverty cannot be overcome without effort and dedication. To make progress, we must combat laziness rather than waking up and going to bars. We should wake up and go to work. Similarly, children should wake up and go to school. These two aspects are closely connected. If you work hard but deny your child the opportunity to attend school, you are not fostering development. Instead, you are hindering it because that child will grow up illiterate. Therefore, let us wake up, work hard, and ensure our children receive an education. By doing this consistently, working diligently, and increasing productivity, we will achieve our goals and contribute to the development of our country. When we visit communities like this, it is not just about the journey. It is about reflecting together on the progress we have made under the leadership of our head of state. Let us all insure our crops because in the event of disasters, we have seen how insurance authorities compensate for losses, whether for livestock, such as cows or crops. Insurance companies provide coverage, ensuring farmers are protected from financial setbacks. Therefore, it is important to participate in agricultural insurance programs which are supported by the head of state as a foundation for stability and growth. This way, farmers can avoid losses and sustain their livelihoods. Don't you think this is a valuable initiative? Are you aware of it? Let us all take part in it.
During the 2025 agricultural season B, over 625,000 hectares of land across Rwanda will be cultivated, with beans covering the largest portion, more than 380,000 hectares. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, William, for the details. Now, still on local matters, the Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, has called on young people participating in the Inhomeza Civic Service Program to uphold unity and integrity to help them develop themselves and contribute to building a peaceful nation. He made these remarks during the closing ceremony of the 12th cohort of the Inhomeza Civic Service in Tare Sector, Nyamagabe District. In Nyamagabe District, 1,846 young men and women participated in this program, including 1,020 young women. They engaged in various community projects aimed at addressing social challenges such as building houses for vulnerable individuals, constructing latrines, establishing kitchen gardens and planting fruit trees. They also worked on infrastructure projects, including building bridges and maintaining roads. Beyond these activities, the youth also received training on Rwanda's history, cultural values, and taboos in Rwandan traditions. The participants expressed that the program instilled in them a deep sense of patriotism and commitment to serving their country. Minister Bizimana Jean Damascene emphasized that the civic service program nurtures a culture of patriotism among young people. He urged them to adopt the right mindset that would enable them to develop themselves and ensure a peaceful nation. He also advised the young to reject all forms of divisionism, even if it comes from their parents, and to recognize that divisionism is harmful. The total value of community projects carried out by youth in Nyamagabe district is estimated at nearly 57 million Rwandan francs. Nationwide, 48,302 young people participated in the 12th cohort of the Inhomeza Civic Service, representing a participation rate of over 95%. Additionally, 113 young people from the Kigeme refugee camp, which houses Congolese refugees, also took part in the program. Now to more news. The East African Court of Justice has dismissed Mirongo's case against the Attorney General of the Republic of Rwanda, saying he tried to pursue a matter that has already been settled by domestic courts and that East African Court of Justice is not a court of appeal. William Evans has more on this.
The plenary session that lasted 1 hour 11 minutes was before Honorable Justice Nesta Kayobera, President and Justice of Appeal, Honorable Lady Justice Anita Mujeni, Honorable Mr. Justice Kathrima Minoti, Honorable Justice Sheborion Varishachi, and Honorable Justice Omar Othman Makungu. This quorum was to deliver judgment on Mirongo's case against the Attorney General of the Republic of Rwanda on two issues. Issue 1 was whether the first instance division erred in law by holding that Mr. Mirongo's reference number 8 of 2022 was time-barred. The Honorable Court answered to issue number 1 as thus and made observations.
Therefore, issue number 1 is answered in the negative. Before we take leave of this issue, it is very important to make our observations to the averments by the Council of the Appellant in paragraph 10 of his written submissions that the appellant proceeded to file the reference for the court to determine whether the state's action of refusing to honor an obligation it owed to him was in line with the provision of the treaty on the principle of good governance. On
issue 2, Mr. Mirongo urged the court to grant him the remedies set out in paragraph 16 of the judgment and to award him costs of the reference and of this appeal. On the other hand, the respondent submitted that Mr. Mirongo is not entitled to any remedies and prayed the appeal be dismissed with costs. To this issue, the Honorable Court determined as thus.
The appellant is not entitled to any of the remedies sought. We have answered issue number 1 in the negative, meaning that the trial court did not err where it held that the appellant's reference number 18 of 2018 was time-barred and that the court did not have judicial to entertain it. Having so found, it means that the decision of the trial court is abhorrent and therefore the appellant is not entitled to the remedies it had prayed for. We take into account the conduct of the appellant of trying to pursue a matter that has been taken by event many years ago through the back door and under the guise of a claim against the Ombudsman's refusal to review the decision of the Supreme Court of Rwanda. In those circumstances, we are satisfied that there is no good reason to depart from the general rule that courts follow the event. Accordingly, we award to the respondent state course of this appeal and the course of the reference in the trial court. Disposition. Finally, the upshot of our consideration of the appeal is that 1, the appeal be and is hereby dismissed, and 2, the appellant should bear the cost of the appeal and the cost of the reference in the trial court. It is so ordered, dated, delivered, and signed in Kigali on this 28th day of February 2025. And this marks the end of our session.
Counsel Nicholas Nharugera, representing the Attorney General of the Republic of Rwanda, shared with RBA what he makes of the judgment.
It's really a good, I think it has given a good ruling because it made it clear that it's not an appellate court over matters from national courts or domestic courts. So some litigants find that they want to make this court as an appellate court over matters from national courts. So it made it clear. There are case laws, there are jurisprudences of this honorable court and other courts that it cannot sit in a appellate capacity over decisions from national courts. So it made it clear. So I think litigants should know, since they have room to first file their cases here at first instance without exhausting remedies, it's an open door. But people don't want to use it. So they just go for other domestic cases, courts. Then thereafter, when they lose, they have to resort to the South African Court of Justice, making it almost, or comparing it, or making it as if it's an appellate court over national matters.
Mirongo's case against the Attorney General of the Republic of Rwanda was filed to the East African Court of Justice on the 4th June 2018 after he received the Ombudsman letter on 4th April the same year declining to propose his case for review by the Supreme Court. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Evans. Now moving ahead, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General Dr. Emmanuel Ugirashebuja has urged mediators to uphold the highest standards of professionalism to enhance the delivery of justice. This call comes at a time when an impressive 1,300 cases have been successfully resolved through mediation in the past 6 months. Let's take a look at the details. Hilary Harerimana and Maria Sumta Umurungi, professional mediators based in Kigali, emphasized that mediation provides a valuable alternative to court proceedings, allowing individuals to resolve disputes while minimizing losses. However, they note that many people have yet to embrace this process.
Mediation is one of the most cost-effective methods of resolving disputes, as it requires fewer expenses compared to going to court. In a court case, you need to pay for lawyers who represent you, provide them with a retainer, and attend multiple court hearings. However, mediators are not widely known among all Rwandans. While awareness of mediators is increasing, many Rwandans still lack full trust in the mediation process.
Mediation is indeed an effective way to resolve disputes, especially for those who opt for it instead of going to court. Court proceedings can be lengthy and costly, often leaving parties frustrated. Moreover, going to court can lead to heightened tensions, resulting in anger and division between people, whereas mediation fosters better relationships and promotes unity among the parties involved. Professor Sam Rugege, chairperson of the Bureau of the Advisory Committee of Mediators, emphasizes that the primary objective of mediation is to alleviate court backlogs. He encourages individuals to prioritize mediation as a first step before resorting to formal court proceedings.
We should promote the use of mediation more widely. What we primarily advocate for is the implementation of a law requiring that before filing a case in court, the matter first go through mediation. If mediation fails, the case can then proceed to court. However, when cases are received by the court's parties, could be encouraged to attempt mediation before court proceedings begin. Another option is empowering judges to recommend or authorize a mediation whenever they believe it would be beneficial, allowing the case to go through mediation first.
The Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Dr. Emmanuel Ugirashebuja, urges mediators to uphold greater professionalism in their practice.
Ubu raporo dufite ziratubwira ko mu gihe cy'amezi 6 yonyine dosiye 1,300 zimaze gukemurirwa mu buryo bw'ubuhuza.
The report we have indicates that over the past 6 months, 1,300 cases have been successfully resolved through mediation. We are optimistic that by the end of the year, many more cases will have been resolved. As mediators who understand the principles of this profession, we expect you to uphold proper justice delivery. It is essential that we as mediators maintain professionalism and avoid dishonesty, as this has a positive impact on the beneficiaries who are satisfied with the services they receive.
Kubagenerwa ibikorwa bakishimira service z'ubutabera bahabwa.
Rwanda is home to over 240 professional mediators, and the country's justice institutions recognize that mediation plays a crucial role in expediting the resolution of disputes and reducing the caseload in courts. The Rwanda National Police has reported that 5 months after the introduction of driving tests for automatic transmission vehicles, the participation rate stands at 75%. However, out of nearly 3,700 candidates who took the test, only about 1,200 passed. Some applicants for the automatic transmission driving license hold the belief that having this license means they lack the necessary driving skills. On the other hand, others claim that holders of this license are not eligible to apply for higher level driving licenses. These concerns have contributed to the low enrollment rates in driving schools for those seeking an automatic transmission license, despite previous demands, emphasizing that most newly imported vehicles in Rwanda are automatic. The Rwanda National Police has clarified that holders of an automatic B/AT driving license are eligible to apply for other higher level of driving licenses, including those for manual transmission vehicles. CSP Emmanuel Hitayezu, head of the examination department at the Rwanda National Police's licensing division, has confirmed that anyone with an automatic transmission license possesses the necessary driving knowledge. He also noted that while a higher number of applicants for automatic transmission licenses was expected, the actual turnout has been lower than anticipated. The automatic transmission driving license tests began in September 2024, and since then, slightly over 3,700 candidates have taken the tests with a pass rate of over 28%. Overall, since the implementation of driving tests that rely heavily on technology, more than 35,500 individuals have taken permanent driving license exams, while over 31,400 have taken provisional license exams.
icyo mbaza ni kimwe koko hari umuntu ugihagarara ku nyama muri iki gihe koko uretse nitaba umukiriya we kiriya biteze
ariko tayi aho kusoreza imyenda wibereye kuri telefone kweli
ariko ni kuwa mbere nawe wagwa wango uracyari wose icyo nakubwiraga wa muntu niko ye umuntu w'umugabo ku bukwe bwe akambara kositimu itukura iciye n'amaboko noneho none se uyisuza
si wombwiye ngo ngwe muse
ntabwo ari ibi navugaga
kuwa mbere kanda akanyenyeri 345 akanyenyeri 2 urwego maze nawe ugwemo. Wikwisondeka.
Welcome back now to matters making headlines globally. A new gallery at the National Museum of the Marine Corps features the stories and experiences of U.S. Marines who served in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. VOA has a detailed story.
It was not uncommon for U.S. Marines to meet with Afghan community leaders during the two-decade war in Afghanistan that ended in August of 2021. Two new gallery spaces at the National Museum of the Marine Corps in Virginia highlight American military personnel who served both in Afghanistan and Iraq. Kyle Gentry is the museum's director.
We strive here to not just have things in a building, but we have artifacts that tell a story. So everything in here tells part of that story. So it's not meant to be kind of a rote history of 20 years, but tell inspiring stories of the different men and women that served there.
This gallery spends 20 years of U.S. Marine involvement in Afghanistan, from the first ground combat in November 2001 to this photo of Abbey Gate at Kabul Airport in August 2021, marking the end of America's presence in Afghanistan. Chief Curator Owen Connor says one of the biggest challenges was connecting with Marines who still had fresh memories and artifacts to exhibit in the museum.
It was a challenge. It was very difficult at first. A lot of Marines were very reluctant to have their story featured because they didn't want to draw attention to themselves unduly or unnecessarily. They didn't want to be seen as the hero in a museum case.
The galleries feature thousands of artifacts, including fallen Marines' uniforms and personal items from those who served in operations from the end of the Vietnam War through Iraq and Afghanistan. Officials say they worked closely with U.S. service members to tell their stories, which are having an impact on museum visitors like Susan Sherman.
What was very impressive was the equipment that the Marines were able to use to save lives, like the all-terrain vehicle over here.
Officials say it is important not only to share the stories of those who served in Afghanistan, but also to educate people about their service.
It's also very important because in the United States, our military is all volunteer, and so the percentage of those who serve in the military is very small. So part of what we try to do is tell the Marine Corps story, but bridge that civil-military gap in society.
Gentry says the exhibition aims to inspire the next generation of men and women to join the Marine Corps. For Noshaba Ashna in Triangle, Virginia, Bejan Hamdard, VOA News.
And our VOA story brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin, but before we leave, a reminder of the top stories that made this edition. The Prime Minister, Dr. Edward Ngirente, urged residents of Rwanda district to benefit from the security and other government initiatives in place by working hard and fighting against poverty. The Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, has called on young people participating in the Inkomeza Civic Service program to uphold unity and integrity to help them develop themselves and contribute to the building of the nation. On the international scene, a new gallery at the National Museum of the Marine Corps features the stories and experiences of U.S. Marines who served in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq.